Chronological Bible in a Year reading plan, day 22. Today we are in Genesis 30 and 31. We have to remember that what we're reading is descriptive, not prescriptive. So some of the stuff we see people doing here, the trickery, the deceit, the polygamy even, these are things that God may have allowed but does not prescribe. Another thing to remember too is that we are dealing with fallen, broken people before the laws of Moses. So we don't know exactly what their worship or any of that looked like, but we're going to see a lot of people doing a lot of sinning. Now, before we get caught up on that, remember, we are also sinning, broken people, right? So avoid that chronological snobbery, avoid looking back and being like, oh, those ancient people. Sometimes we might have to look inward too and confess and rejoice in the forgiveness that we have. But jump to my highlight now. So we see Jacob, I would argue, making a mistake, trying to balance these romantic-ish relationships, scorning wives. But something I love to highlight whenever I go through this section is Jacob favored Rachel. But Leah was the one that continually gave him child after child after child. Most of his children come through Leah, and we're going to see these children are the foundations of the tribes of Israel. But the most important person in the line of Jacob comes through a child of Leah, through her fourth son, Judah, who eventually has a great-great-great-grandchild, David, who eventually has a great-great-great-grandchild, Jesus. So we'll see God is using Jacob's non-favorite wife, the one he was tricked into taking, but she's the one who eventually births the line of the kings and the great king, our Messiah. So remember that as you go about your week. Maybe you don't feel like a favored one. Maybe you feel like life and the world may be against you. But maybe God has a greater plan for you than you could ever imagine. So maybe you rest in that comfort, but also look for opportunities to act in line of God's will and potential wants for you. We'll continue this fun and wild and sometimes ridiculous story tomorrow. And until then, God bless.